record.
Oh man, Zoom is doing it. Like they say that stuff now. I didn't even know that it said that. That's
Said
pretty
what?
decent. It said recording in progress. You didn't hear that?
It's oh, it don't say it on my side because
Oh my
I pressed
goodness.
record.
Probably that's the
Yeah,
reason why.
yeah.
That's got to be the reason why. It's super hot outside. We're in the middle of summer. We're not in the middle of summer, but still, it's the end of summer and it's still unbearably hot like we were yesterday.
It's
Went
not gonna get any
outside
better.
today. Huh?
It's not gonna get any better.
It's not, well, I mean,
If it's hot.
no, it's really not.
Yeah.
Hurricane season. So Thursday, that's when it's hitting.
Nothing like hurricanes, a pandemic, forest fire. A little bit of everything is happening.
Revelations?
I hope not, because I'm firstborn. So I really hope that the plagues aren't happening. Like the locusts happen, I'm hoping it don't go down like that. Or I hope maybe he switches it up to second board on this one. You know what I mean? No offense to you.
Damn, G. Like,
You were cool with the firstborn though.
I was cool with the
All
first
right
one.
then. So I mean, it's just the same
But
energy.
I was cool with the word of God.
It's
That's
the
what I
same,
was cool with.
and I'm cool with it too. He can switch it up. All things.
Because God is known for switching it up.
It's all the time. All the time, right? So yeah,
nigga ain't switched it up in over 2,000 years. But you know what I'm saying? From the Old Testament to the New, yeah, he switched it up, but like
it depends on the person you're talking to. You can talk to your local pastor, you can talk to Joel. They might have two completely different messages.
That's true.
Reading the same thing. I mean, isn't that what we've been fighting for forever? So,
interpretation of the Bible.
Yeah, man. The Taliban just took over because they were like, "This is what God says."
Yeah.
And everybody else was like, "I don't know if y'all right," and they was like, "But I got this gun." Okay, that's pretty much how it works when you're spreading the word. You're like, "Yo, believe it," and if you don't, I got something for you.
That's terrible too.
Yeah,
even in some versions, like what was it, the Mormons, that in their Bible that it was a sin to be black and ugly as ever. I stay Houston down to my socks. It's another In My Humble Opinion podcast. Once again, I'm Avery, like a very nice guy with this great lighting. I am finally, this is what I look like. I look terrible on all the other podcasts, but I didn't care. We're getting the reps out. But you know what I'm saying? It's me, it's Avery, like a very nice guy. Also here with my brother, Jess Devon, one of the greatest writers of the whatever century. Is it 22nd century, 21st?
I don't even know what century we're in. And one of the greatest writers who has not been writing. I got a whole bunch of writing that I need to
You've been writing, it just hasn't been out.
Well, it hasn't been out. I took a break over the summer. I'm about to get back out just in time for everybody to come in for
right.
So yeah. You think Astroworld's gonna happen? We're in Texas, so I feel like no matter what, Astroworld is happening. I feel like no matter what. Look, man, I teach.
Everybody's kind of looking forward to it because last year you didn't get it.
Yeah, we didn't get it last year, and I'm like, I'm kind of looking forward to it too, even though I still have strong concerns about COVID. But I feel like I'm gonna be one of them people that is out there,
Wow, true sicko mode. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's gonna bring a new word to sicko mode.
That's crazy. We were speaking about Locust, Revelations, God, and everything, and this next person has a knowledge of God. I mean, this young man used to wear a compass around his neck. Why, you ask? Well, good question. You didn't really ask, Gary YouTube, but that's the name for you people now. So. He can always find his way home. You see, he had a plan, all right? He can go as far as ever, but he never loses home. All right, his life is a tale of extreme highs and valley deep lows, but somehow he manages to pick himself up and keep going. Want to know how? Another question. I'm glad that you asked. Well, he can tell you better than I can because we have him here in the studio, on the phone, whatever you want to call it, on In My Humble Opinion, because with Off the Books out right now, stream it, buy the merch. straight out of the north side of Houston, Texas, Godbody Bingo, ladies and gentlemen. Leave it to Bingo.
Praise, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me, man. I still wear the compass because it still represents something to me. He right, you can't get the merch. I ain't used to the camera thing. But yeah, man, off the books out now. I am here on my humble opinion in the flesh. Appreciate y'all for having me.
How's it going? How's it going?
Man, I'm good, man. It's been a long time since I talked to y'all, and it's been a long 2021. It was a long 2020. But we here now. Things been going well. August has been great. So
good.
Yeah, we're rocking out like that.
What has been so great about August for you?
Man, this album I just released, man, I've been working on this for a year. I started recording in June of last year. And I wanted to roll it out in July actually. But with all the things happening in my life over this time, I ended up pushing it back. And August 8th, I dropped an EP called 2 Weeks Notice, and it was a literal announcement that I was gonna drop my debut album. And within that time, I dropped that EP. I dropped a music video. I planned and had help, and I got to do a release party for the album, and the album came out. The reception, it's only been a day, but the reception been crazy. The party yesterday was insane. A lot of people came out. I performed the whole album, and yeah, man, things have been on the up and up. I can't complain. Can't complain at all.
All right, so you were telling us all of the stuff that was happening in August. You've been working on this album for how long?
Like the time I've been working on it this time was June, because this album was actually an idea I had back in like 2017. And it was gonna come out then, but I didn't have no fans. I really didn't have nothing going on. And I was like, man, it'd be a disservice to myself to put out like a full length type of project without no fan base. That's how I started making the EPs I made in the fleshes. I started making singles. The homie B. Allen Carter told me you should do like put them together, make short EPs. People can digest that. And I started doing that. And after I did the third EP, I wanna go and show people I can do a full length, a full thought out, complete a thought. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I took my time and treated it like an album. And we here.
Now, what was your concept behind this album?
Man, off the books got like a million concepts. Like originally I was like freestyling and said the phrase back like when I first started the title, because it was titled Off the Books back in 2017 too. And when I came back to it, I got a brother, my brother Rick. He did 10 years in the pen. And when I found out he was getting out, is what inspired me to do an album. And that's like kind of a reoccurring theme throughout the album. If you listen to it, I talk about him getting free throughout the music a lot. So that's like the main reason. Like Off the Books is like him being like out of jail.
Yeah.
But it's also like about my life, because like in 2020 I was in different situations that I'm no longer part of, and I feel like I was getting off the books in different phases of my life too.
Okay, so what were some of those phases that you're moving in? I would say like your music is pretty open, and I would never call it like gospel music.
Yeah, no, it's not gospel.
Like that. It's not a Christian rap music because you curse and everything, but there is
right.
still like using the themes of praise and things like that. There's still elements of that. So what were some of the shifts that you were making in your life that started to affect the music?
Like 2020, like man, I came in 2020 with goals and I didn't reach low key none of them. I was at the job I was at, I was trying to move up, and that it was going right, and it went left when Corona hit. I was a part of a group, and we had an issue, and I left that group. And I'm still cool with them, it's still love, but I moved like with a different trajectory now, just a different like path more than anything. And I was in a relationship, and I left that relationship. So all these things I was planning on putting my all into kind of wasn't part of my life no more. Mm-hmm. So and all those, every time something happened, it caused me to either sulk about it and wonder why it didn't work, or to figure out a way to grow.
Now, how deep do you decide when you're deciding what to put into the music? How deep do you decide to go? Like, there's some people that are like, yo, like, I'll talk about all this, but I don't want to put stuff about my relationship. Or even like this one where you talk about your brother and his situation coming out. What do you decide goes into the music, and what do you decide to hold back on?
For me, it's really like I really don't hold no bars. Whatever I feel is what I say. I don't really put a lot of thought into what I'm gonna like. I don't really try to keep nothing away necessarily because I'm kind of open book myself. Um, I try to respect anybody else involved in my life. I don't want to like put people business out there and don't want it out there. But like my brother, for example, he is who he is. He ain't ashamed of his life. Like he do what he do. He get down how he get down. And he trying to do better. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no problem. But he ain't scared of his past. He don't mind me talking about it because he know I'm a storyteller. He know I feel like my gift ain't necessarily music, is words. So I use my words to tell the story. So I talk about what I know and what I seen. So when it comes to like deciding the content, it's not a whole lot of holding back just because I want people to get to. I feel like a true artist reveals himself or herself through their music. So that's what I want to do with mine.
Now, what was your brother's response to the album?
Man, he likes it. Like he was locked up so long, he didn't really hear my beginning of me rapping. So he heard me rap like when I was like in 8th grade. That was like the only time he heard me. So first time he heard me coming out was like the stuff I had out on YouTube and stuff, and he was geeked. And hearing the album, man, like he enjoyed it. He appreciated it. He appreciated me thinking about him. And he the main record. I always say it's like this was Kendrick Lamar's "Damn." My record, Brothers, is to Off the Books as Fear is to Damn. I played that record for him before it was done, and he probably would want me to tell y'all this, but hey, he ain't got no choice. It brought him to tears. You know what I'm saying? Because it was about him and our relationship. But that's what I wrote it for, just to make him understand how I felt growing up with him in and out of my life and how I feel now that he's back. You know what I'm saying? So
now, what keeps you on the path of like we say when we're talking? You represent the North Side, right?
yeah, North Side, not the North. No,
I'm sorry. My bad.
Say it right. There's a W in there.
The AWF. All right. So representing the North. So when you sit up there and you talk about it, like when we talk about the music that comes out of that side of Houston, it usually fits into a kind of pattern. All right. It's a lot of aggressiveness and things like that. You have a weird, we were talking about this before it started. You got a weird mix where you have that style and you also have that music on the background, but you're not always talking about the same stuff. Like, what made you decide to go that route, and how do you feel it places you amongst all the other music that gets associated with that side of town?
And would you want to hear me talk about the same thing for 13 songs straight?
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
Exactly. That shit whack to me. Like there's a lot of dope artists over here. There's a lot of versatile artists over here too. But I feel like because I'm from Acres Homes and I've seen a lot, but I'm not no street cat. So a lot of the cats that's popping from my side, they street cats and they speak from that perspective. There's not a lot of people speaking from the quote unquote good kid in the mad city perspective. So I want to like I said, I talk about my real life and what I know. I'm not talking about selling dope because I don't sell dope, but I know people that do, and I know what it's like moving around with people like that. You know what I'm saying? So and like seeing stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? So I talk from my own perspective, but I'm not gonna just talk about being in the trenches all day because that's not how I grew up. And that's not how life is for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be honest about myself and what I'm doing. I want to be relatable. And as far as I feel like where it put me, because I feel like I read an article, man. I'm glad y'all interviewed me because I want to talk about this. I think it was a Rolling Stone article, and it was talking about different artists that's like blowing up and coming up from the city, and it was like Maxo, Don Toliver, Fat Tony, Ken the Man, a lot of cats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody they were saying they was like for the majority of the artists, to put where they was from, like Maxo, A-Leaf, so and so from Mo City, so and so from Third Ward. Only person on the list from the North was Ken the Man.
Yeah.
And they didn't even mention it because she don't really rap about it a lot. No. And I'm like, man, it's a void as far as like representation. And that's something I carry pride on. You know what I'm saying? Like of course it's like historical, like a lot of the history is on the South Side with school, things like that. And I got mad respect for the whole city. I got love for everybody, but I want to represent and speak for where I'm from and the people who grew up how I grew up and seen what I've seen. So I feel like there's a void there, and me and some of my homies can fill that void. So I take pride in being one of the best, in my opinion, the best from my side of town. But I got respect for everybody else who's doing it too.
And there is a void. Like I said, I read that Rolling Stone article, and you're right. There was only one artist uh, that was representing the North Side. But the other thing too about it is there can be a lot of artists, and it's like there are a lot of artists that are up there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily get the shine all the time when you're saying, "Hey, look at Houston."
Right.
Even as you're seeing Houston artists come up, there is a strong focus on the South Side. What
Yeah.
Yeah.
drive does that put in you and artists around you that are from that part of town?
Yeah, man. Like so, like the people I kick it with, like pretty much everybody from this side too. And some of them they don't mind. They just making their music. They don't really care. But some of us, it's like I take it personal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Houston, the fourth largest city. It's enormous. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on every side of town. Like it was, I seen that article had people somebody from the Woodlands, somebody from Pearland. Y'all can talk about the outskirts and talk about the city too. And
Yeah.
like so, like I'm like they could have mentioned Fastlane from the north. He talked about it,
Yeah.
but he mentioned him. He just signed a deal.
Yeah.
So it's like he doing just as much as whoever else you can name. So it's like I don't just walk around with a chip on my shoulder like mad necessarily, but I definitely keep it in mind. And I definitely go out of my way to represent because like I said, like people come up to me and they appreciate that. Like I shout out the street we on that we grew up on that we go be on every day. You know what I'm saying? Or I shout out things that happen up here because you're gonna hear about the third war, about the this and that. You know what I'm saying? About the Richmond. You're gonna hear about all that, you know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna hear a whole lot about Antoine, a whole lot about, you know what I'm saying, like streets of Acres Home, streets in Homestead, streets in Studewood, Fifth Ward, stuff like that. So to certain people, and like a lot of the people not getting the shine I feel like they deserve, which like I said, I know it's like to the other artists on the other side of town, I feel like it's like the media and just the narrative being pushed, you know what I'm saying? Because the biggest artists from the city, they are all from like South. Like you got Travis Scott, Mo City, you got TSF, that's South Park, like they big coalition, but like Sauce Walker from the South, Megan from South, you know what I'm saying? So all the biggest names from down there, so that's where they're going. It's telling in the whole city.
That's true. That's true.
That is true. Yeah, because nobody wants to get on what's that 288 or anything and go up there. It's the disrespect though. There's so many people up there because when you mentioned like, you're mentioning streets that people are talking about ranking and all the other stuff. We only street that most of us know is Antoine. I have to admit I'm one of those people. I don't even go to the north side anymore, my guy.
Yeah, and being in the city, we get that. Like I don't go to the south unless I got something to do, and I respect this vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like up until I was in my like grown, I don't remember ever being on the south. I ain't really had no family down there. Everybody up here. Like I was always in Acres Homes, Inwood, and like Trinity Garden or Cashmere Garden area. So I never was I had an uncle in Mo City. I went to see him like once or twice my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll come up here because his whole family was up here. Yeah. So I get that in the city, but when it comes from the outside looking in, y'all don't even understand the dynamics like that. So y'all need to just highlight the talent and not necessarily highlight the area.
So what is the main difference that you see, if any at all, from like Southside artists to Northside artists?
Like far as the music, it just depends on who you're talking about because there's so many. Everybody rap, so that's first off. So there's so many artists first of all, but there's a lot of similarities to be honest. It's just like you'll see like a lot of the cats run together too. So it's like it's a lot of there's way more camaraderie than I feel like there's ever been. Even though it's been a lot of violence lately, and I hate to see that, but the violence kind of has continuity too, unfortunately. But when you talk about the music, man, I don't feel like there's nobody doing what I do specifically. So that's why I do what I do. But when it comes to like the differences of the side, it's just like the nuance more than anything. It's not really big differences to me.
Now, when you say you focus on what you do, what do you feel separates you from a lot of the other artists? Not just in North Side, South Side, but not just Houston, but just in general. What do you feel separates you as an artist from a lot of other people? Because I see the pattern on your albums. Like even when you like the song you're talking about that alludes to Kendrick's song, it's an obvious kind of thing, and it's like, okay, you're operating on a higher level on a lot of this stuff. So what separates you as an artist?
Man, I rap my ass off. I rap my ass off.
It's indeed true.
I give a damn about how it sounds. Like I care. Like I said, my talent ain't really music. My talent is writing. So I allow the people around me to produce. You know what I'm saying, to put together the sound. So I'm meticulous. Like, man, you listen off the books, man. Like every one of those songs got its own long ass story that could take up this whole podcast by itself. Like I take my time. Like a lot of people, they going in, they just rapping, they freestyling, they going fast, and the music coming out hard. Don't get it twisted, but you can tell the difference when people taking their time and putting real care and real thought and real emotions into their music. And I think my like the realness, as far as like not necessarily like me telling the truth, but more like my real emotion is what separates me. Besides like my care about the craft too.
Now, how have things been as you were Justin? You're a new artist. You're working on albums. You're putting out music, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So, how is that adjusting to whether you're trying to get live performances out there, or were you just trying to get people to get merchandise and just buy music in general? How are you making adjustments in these times?
And being in Texas, you know, like we don't follow no rules. We hard hitters, so people still doing live stuff. So like if I can't do something live, I'm gonna do it. Like definitely like always. Yeah, so yeah, like man, 2020, I didn't do any live performances. I didn't rap in public at all. It was just friends and family, and so that really allowed me to sit down and make an album and could put my thoughts together, craft something I feel like is special. And so going into 21, like seeing things kind of like it kind of opened back up for a minute. So I was like, let's try to get back doing shows. Let's try to get back spreading the music and passing it out. And I'm like, I didn't really care when it came out. I just wanted to be right before it came out. So it took, like I said, I started recording this album in June of 2020, and it just came out August 2021, as you see. But I didn't mind it taking a year and some change because I wanted to make it what it is. I wanted to make it something people could listen to all the way through. I wanted debates on the favorite song. I wanted like real responses, not just like, oh, this is another like. Before this, I only did like 4 songs at a time or a single. So
Yeah,
I like my homies always made the we love basketball and shit. So they always make the reference of like a player that don't play a lot of minutes. It's like, yeah, you putting up crazy stats in garbage time. You know what I'm saying? Like you playing the inner quarters and you putting up really good numbers. It's like per 36 minutes, you averaging 30 points a game. Let's put you in the game for 36 minutes, see what you do. And my like according to my friends and so far the feedback, I exceed the expectations. So I've been loving the reception so far.
what's your favorite song on the album so far?
Man, that's so hard. Like I said, every song got a story.
Yeah,
My as far as like I was the intro and the outro, my 2 favorites.
Intro hard as hell.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Hood Rich is like
Hood Rich, and I
Hood
like the way you spelled it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, I gotta represent where I'm from, man. But I feel like cause like the album really sounds like the hood, and I feel like Hood Rich is like I was telling my guy the other day, like Hood Rich is like a portal. It transports you to my hood so you can experience the album. That's how I feel like it sounds.
What was the mindset though when you were like, what was going on when you recorded that song though?
Man, cause I wrote it quite a bit of time before I recorded it, and it was really just another studio session. But knowing I was recording that song, it's like, bro, we gotta make sure everything right. Like some of the homies was there because like I kind of been telling them I got this crazy shit I'm gonna do for the intro, and yeah, we really just kind of just turned the music on and we just went. Like it's like my recording process, it ain't nothing glamorous. I just lock in and just go. Like so like my writing process, I don't write my lyrics down. I think of my head. I just know I don't freestyle though. I'll think about it and I'll sit with the song for a month before I record it just to make sure I know what I'm gonna say and how I'm gonna say it. So when I go in, I'm real big on the delivery. So when I go in, I really gotta like be tuned in and zoned in so I can perform. You know what I'm saying? So and that my definitely. And I wrote that song kind of like out of order. Like the first line I had was the line on the hook. I don't pull the flow, I just throw the flow. That's my hook. Mm-hmm. That's the first line I wrote for the song. And really? I wrote the rest of the hook around that. And I wrote the last verse that's on the second half of the beat first, and I wrote the first verse. And my homie Jay Smith, who made the beat, he the one talking in the middle of the song. And I decided to add like the snippets of my old records, kind of like to play on the people that already like my music to kind of show them like the progression and kind of lead into Cause the song kind of start kind of abruptly, so I wanted to lead into something. I didn't want it to be just like I didn't want it to start like out of nowhere. I wanted to be a builder.
It makes sense. I like the way it does lead in, but more so, I guess rephrasing my question, like, where did you get the idea for that? Like, what was going on when you wrote that? Like, where did that idea spark from that you wanted your album to start with that type of energy?
Man, I'm real big on like the intro. Like the intro got to punch you in the mouth. So I want the intro to be like be either shocking or like in some way impressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know I can rap. So like when I heard the beat, like it's funny because the first time I heard the beat, all I heard was the first half. I didn't even know it was a beat change. Cause like when I listen to a beat, I listen to like 30 minutes to a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, I mean, and I'll go to the next beat. So I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I can spit on this, but that's probably about it. It's probably like a little freestyle or something. And one day I accidentally let it play all the way through. When I heard the beat change, and I was like, nah, this is special. And when I started, I thought of that line for that hook when I first heard it. I was driving. Like I do most of my writing like while I'm doing something else. I don't write it down. So I'll write while I'm driving or while I'm playing a video game or while I'm in the shower or something like that. So like the words come when my mind is occupied but not like stimulated. So like I stimulate myself by writing rap. And I think I was driving around when I listened to the beat and I was like, nah, this is something crazy. So let me talk that talk on here. And once I wrote the hook, I knew it was something special. And I was like, it gotta start like this.
You talk about the special. I mean, let's talk about some of your influence. Like we talked about Kendrick, but the influence of music, because you pay a lot of attention to the way your vocals sound, and you pay a lot of attention to the beat. It's very well produced. Like it's professionally produced. So, what are some of the influence you follow, whether it be production wise or rapping wise?
Man, rapping wise, like I got a wide variety of influence. I know we talked about this first time we talked. Like it's banned from like Jay-Z, Biggie to like J. Cole and Big Crit to like Future and Bankroll Fresh. Like I take something from all them people. You know what I'm saying? And one of my biggest Houston influence for sure is like Scarface and Zero. But definitely like if I wanted to like I hate comparisons, but if you're gonna compare with anybody, the one I would want to hear is Scarface because I feel like he the best, one of the best to ever rap, period, and easily the best out of the city. And like when I think about an album, I think about stuff he done made, like how cohesive it is, how you feel him on every record. You know what I'm saying? So when like specifically off the book, I was listening to different things. Like I really was, one of my big emphasis was the transition. And I was really listening to like oddly enough, because like people probably wouldn't think of this, but it was one of my favorite albums last year. I was listening to Savage Mode 2. Had the Morgan Freeman talking throughout, and that really was like a big influence on how I made off the books. I really wanted the songs to be tied in well. And I didn't have like the homie Jay, he talking on 2 records, but I had different voices throughout. And I just really wanted to have like either sonic or vocal transitions to pretty much every record if I could.
Interesting. Okay, so I mean, when we talk about those are your influences, who were some of the artists that, and you always make these like a family affair.
Yeah,
so it's always like the people that you have on there are the people that you work with closely. But who are some artists that you would like to work with just in general, whether it be in the city or beyond?
Oh man, it's funny because like all my favorite artists are the homies. You know what I'm saying? The people that's on here is who I want to work with.
Okay.
Like it's definitely people don't like said I mentioned Crit. I would love to work with Crit. Everybody I just mentioned, Crit, Cole, Hove, you know what I'm saying, Future, Thug, people like that. I love to work with people like them. When I think of like in the city, I love D Flowers. I love Ken the Man. A lot of cats, man. It's a lot of people. The list is very long. But like I really, it's more producers I think about though. I want to work with like Weezy and like Metro and Pierre Bourne.
Yeah.
One day Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? No ID. Like I'm Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Hit Boy. Oh my God, I can't leave Hit Boy out. It's a lot of like, man, I want to touch a little bit of everything. But I feel like I can do a lot of stuff. So I want to like work with a lot of different people, both on the production side and the rapper side, and sing a lot of vocalists. So I love like Ari Lennox, Kerr, Brent Faiyaz, Frank Ocean. Like it's so many people I want to work with. It's endless.
Yeah, you do definitely have an ear for beats. You have a Rick Ross type ear for beats. Like really. No, like me and Devon were talking about that before we even got on. Like he brought it up. Like, you know, your ear for beats is amazing.
Ear for beats
what is one beat that you keep going back to that you freestyle? Every rapper got that beat. That's just that beat.
Man, I like it's a lot of beats I like. Um, I like I like I like a lot of Playboy Cardi beats actually. I love Be Born. Like if I had to like if you ask me to freestyle right now, I'll probably play Magnolia.
I can understand.
Okay. That's along the same style. I mean, look, a lot of artists too that you name, whether it be Playboy Cardi or 21 Savage, Nas, Scarface, Kendrick. I think one of the big things about them is their albums really solidify people's vision of their city.
Right.
So they tell these stories, and it's like, oh, okay. I'm not saying 21 Savage represents all of Atlanta, but that piece of Atlanta that he comes from, I know that piece now.
That's what it's all about to me.
When people listen to your album, what do you want them to walk away with knowing about your part of the city?
Man, that I just want them to like, more than anything, know anything, I want them to acknowledge it. Kind of like we talked about before, like it's like this is a real place with real history, and we really like here. That's what I want people to leave with, as far as like that side, and like as far as like the rest of the like the front half of the album is heavy, like Acres Homes, Hood shit, Inwood shit, whatever. And as it goes here, I start telling more stories and being more about myself, and like I really want to show my versatility as an artist and a person. So that's some of the takeaways I want to come from the album for sure.
Now, since you've released, I mean, we're talking to you now. This album just came out, but I mean, it's still very early. But how have you felt has been the response so far from people you know, from fans? What are people saying?
Man, I couldn't ask for it to be a better response. Like, man, people hitting me up, people posting on their stories, people hitting other people who own the album up. Like people like the biggest response I've been getting is how like people can tell how much I put into it, and that's what I'm grateful for. Because said like I've never worked this hard on music before in my life. You know what I'm saying? So like people appreciate the transitions. Like, man, people love, like, one of the favorite moments on the album is my mama talking after Big Foes going into Easy Jesus 2. Like, people love that. You know what I'm saying? People love my homie telling me I need to make a love song, and then the love song playing. And he told me that in real life, so I had him do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like he was on my, like, he said it kind of nice for the album, but he was on my ass. Like, he was like, bro, you ain't got no love songs. I was like, not right now. I got some old ones that ain't out no more. He's like, oh, mad ass nigga, make a love song with her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna make one that's gonna be good. And I think I did that. A lot of people like that record, but yeah, people just love, like, people appreciate the rapping, they appreciate the production, the quality. And like every producer on that went crazy. I feel like people gave me their best. Like, I feel like people gave me their best beats. I feel like people gave me their best verses. The homie B-Val recorded and mixed me, and he took his time and got it perfect. It sounds great. And the legendary Jerry Lacey mastered it, and he got it sounding like money. So it came out beautiful, man.
That's good.
Now, what was your mom's response to the album? Like has she listened to it all the way through, or did she just listen to her part?
I sat down and played it for her. I play everything I do. Like, she, like, it's funny with her because she love it, but it's like she don't want me to cuss in my raps, but you kind of too late for that. But like she do love the music, and she believes it's really good music, and she like my references to God and my faith and my positivity kind of balance out the cursing for her. It's like, yeah, you cussing, but you still saying something good. And man, she was like shocked. Like, the night I dropped Easy 2, she sent me that voice message. And usually she'll call me I was out with my homie. She would call me to congratulate me, or she'll send me a text message. But she literally just made a voice message. And but she watched it on like YouTube on her TV. So one of my talk biz played in the background, and like you can hear the beat behind her talking. I'm like, and she just sent me the voicemail, and I'm like, she don't understand that this is like a perfect album interlude. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't like, that was April, and she made the album then, and it came out in August. So when I played it for her, she was like, "Oh, you got me on there? Like, you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she laughed, and like she didn't know. Like, man, somebody somebody told me like yeah, they've only been out a day, but somebody told me that they lost their mom, and when they heard that, they cried. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even expect it to have a type of impact. So that's just a beautiful thing to me that it's really people really listening to it and it's really touching people.
And I guess that's the other thing when we talked about when I was talking to you earlier, because like I said, I wouldn't call you a gospel or a Christian rapper, but I like the way that things have progressed. First of all, I like the way things have progressed for not calling people Christian rappers. Like I said, my favorite gospel rap songs is like Scarface Someday, DMX, and the 3 or 4 songs that he put out. Where it's like, I'm a person, you know what I'm saying? I'm a person, I curse, I do these things, but this is also my faith, and I'm going to talk about it, and it kind of blends in. What makes
real life?
Yeah. And what makes you take that lane? Because a lot of times when people are like, well, if I'm going to speak about my faith, then I'm going to back off of, let's be honest, I'm going to back off the realness. I'm not going to be, I need to put this in a better lighting because then people ain't gonna rock it. And I'm like, nah, I think the opposite. Like,
don't rock with it, bro.
If you act like a regular person, people respond better to it. So for this, what made you go forward with that idea? Because I'm with your mom. Like, the cursing gets balanced out almost immediately by what you're saying.
Yeah, and like you really ask the question yourself. Like that's how I look at it too. Like my like you look at my new brand is Church in the Wild, and the whole concept behind that is like people on opposite ends of the spectrum, like the people in the trenches and the people in the church house are the same in the way they are. They just look at each other as opposite. So my goal is to show people that we are the same. We all like that's why like when I say like some people call me Godbody, but my name is Bingo. Godbody is what I am. Bingo is who I am. And I'm trying to get everybody to see all of y'all are Godbody. We all made it. To me, we all made in God's image. And no matter what we do, that can't change that. You know what I'm saying? So when I make a song about being faithful, but I'm cussing, that's because that's real life. Life is duality. Like you're not gonna like them like you know people always talk about the cricket church folk. I talk about the cat in the streets need to get his life together, but he pray every day, read his Bible every day, something like that'll heal. Read his Quran or whatever faith he got every day. So like that, I just believe in that duality because I know everybody goes through it in their own way, and I'm not afraid to admit I'm on both sides of the spectrum myself.
Absolutely, I think you encompass it a lot on this album. Like I said, it's a nice balance. The production is hard, the intro is hard, the raps is hard, and the content is varied. So it's not because I said when the music kicks in, I'm not gonna lie, just because the music that I normally listen to, I knew what I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I was expecting. Like I was like, okay, I kind of know how this is gonna go, and then I was like, nah, you rapping about a lot of stuff on this album, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
I appreciate it.
So, I mean, I know it's very early on, but I mean, what are your plans now as we have this album rollout and we're leading into the winter and then going into the new year?
And my goals are definitely one of my biggest, I think, issues I've had in the past is not pushing my music correctly. I'll put music out. I might do a video or two. I'm like I would do shows when I could, but pandemic make it a little different now. But that'll be it. I don't really put no money behind it. I don't really have no real outreach. So my goal with this is like I was apprehensive about doing an album before because I was afraid of people not hearing it. So my goal is I'm gonna do 13 songs. I'm gonna spend as much time as I need to make sure it reaches every corner of the earth I can get it to. So it's gonna be a lot of promotion, a lot of marketing, a lot of I'm doing a lot of visuals for it. I want to throw my own event later on this year. And just like this, whatever it stops I can pull. I haven't even fully figured out everything I'm gonna do yet, but I'm not like don't expect no new music soon because I'm gonna shift this. But it's not like I'm gonna be making music, but I'm not putting nothing out because I'm not gonna shortstop the shelf life of this because this deserves to be heard by everybody, in my opinion.
That's good. That's good because I see a lot of times, like because of Lil Wayne and he normalized the just make 9 million songs, and I'm like, well, have you guys noticed? I mean, you've noticed obviously, but I tell rappers like, oh, it's changed. It's been different since 2015, dude.
Oh, it's been adjusting back for a while.
Yeah, I'm like, you got like,
keep putting on music, keep putting out music, and it's like that's cool when nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody was doing it. It's like Future, Wayne, shit, even Chris Brown with that long album.
Oh man.
Like, I can put out
I
this
like
amount of music. Exactly. But now everybody does it.
Everybody does
How
it.
to separate yourself out, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna just look at that dude that actually like worked and put out like a good album.
Plus, I mean, it's streaming. Like you can put 10 songs on something and then come back, add 11. You can add 12. You can add 13. I'm waiting to see that.
Now you sound like Kanye West. Don't get out here.
It's gonna happen.
I like Kanye, but don't get out here. Put it. That man is touring with an unfinished.
It's gonna happen. There's gonna be somebody that comes out with a single, and then a week or an allotment of time later,
Kanye did that.
Add another song.
Yeah, Kanye. That was what was it? Not the last album.
Wasn't like that. He just added some songs.
The Life of Pablo. He was working on that.
I remember. I'm saying
songs, took songs off, changed.
I'm saying somebody's going to have a like Kanye. That was fly by night. Somebody's going to have a plan and go. This is the day, or you put out your album or whatever, X amount of songs, and then just keep adding. Because I'm like, why not? Like, what? It's different now. You can do it, but yeah, good idea.
Guessing that Kanye does stuff without a plan
all the time.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. That man just get out there and start doing stuff. It worked, but yeah, it worked.
You that big, everything worked.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you can do a stadium tour,
right?
With a rough draft.
I mean, that's it. He was like, my album. I don't understand why that dude be like, my album coming out this date, and then to be like, hey, there be no album. Like, let me start recording now. I'm like.
The fact that man is renting out a stadium and is just there making beats. Like, you just there in a stadium. Like, yeah, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to keep on working on the album because it ain't done yet. Up until the moment of the show. And then when the show finishes, you're like, yeah, I'm going to just stay here and I'm going to keep on working. They're like, all right. That's how Kanye does it.
And you could work with that? You could work with that, Bingo?
Man, hey, like, Kanye, you do what you want, you popping. When you in the you want, you can work on what you want. And when you done, but Kanye done got a Grammy for like 3 or 4 of his albums. Like, he can do what he wants. You know what I'm saying?
So if Kanye come to Houston and he's like, I really like what you're doing, I'm gonna move into your house. And so we finish.
He can't do that.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
if Kanye, okay, first of all, it'd be really weird. But if Kanye came, you gotta let Kanye move in. He weird.
Yeah.
You can pull up, you can't move in.
Yeah, you never know. He might be like, yeah, I'm trying to get, first of all, he probably gonna build up stuff on your house. He gonna do a couple add-ons. Because he Kanye, he just weird. You know what I'm saying?
He can get him one of them little Elon Musk cribs and I'll go move in with him.
Exactly. You might be like, yo, I want to be here to get the vibe. And you like, cool. I'm gonna just take your hotel room, man. You stay here. And I'm gonna be over there for 4 seasons.
Ain't no vibes. I don't even write songs at home. Ain't no vibes.
You don't even write songs at home. But yeah, like you said, you put them in your head, you write them in your car. So it is what it is.
Yeah, bro. I really like I write as I live. You know what I'm saying? I low key like thinking lyrics. Like I be rapping as I'm thinking. Cause I like words, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not very well read, but I read well. So I'm really like my vocabulary kind of cool and shit, and I like to talk. I talk my ass off. So I'm always rapping.
I'm not very well read, but I read well. I love that. But it is.
I need to read more books.
I mean, you will. Look, get Audible.
And see, I talked about that with my homies last night. Like, I feel like it ain't the same if I hear it or if I read it. Like,
I'm with you because I read a lot of books and I cannot do Audible. I can't. And people tell me it's like, oh no, you just put it on. It's like a podcast. I said, I listen to podcasts. I listen to music. I feel weird listening to a book. I can't get over it. I can't. I gotta sit down and read it.
Like,
I do both because I'm stupid. So I will get the book and Audible, and then I'll follow along with it because I understand you have to see the word. You have to see ambidextrously in order for you to like grasp the concept. You can't just hear it. You have to see the spelling and all that other stuff. But I'm saying I just recommend that. Take some time out of your day, you know, an hour a day and be like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and do this. But blah, blah, blah. I digress. Once again, it has been awesome having you come through or stay in, you know, and just Devon's knocking shit down. But
That was
you know,
my desk. That was my desk. It's all right.
knocking pictures off the wall. So you know what I'm saying?
Shout out
Like,
Monterey and Youngster.
Yeah.
shout out to Youngster. But once again, man, this has been another great episode of In My Humble Opinion. We really want to thank you for, you know, just coming through for us, Godbody, and well, I'm sorry, Bingo, because you know we're big fans of yours, and we just appreciate you and good luck on your album. So yeah, congratulations on that.
Man, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And once again, I've been Avery, like a very nice guy. It's been my brother, Just Divine. And this is another In My Humble Opinion podcast. You can find us at My Humble O on everything. And if you want to be a part of the Humble Hive, you got to like, share, and subscribe. Humbly yours. In My Humble Opinion podcast. H-Town's too sweet. H-Town is too sweet. Goodbye.